Hello everyone, how are you all doing? I'm just going to wait for a bit for everyone to join in. I like to start at 4 p.m. sharp, but I know it takes a while for everyone to be notified about the Facebook Live. So let's just wait for a few moments. Hi Divya, how are you doing? Have you had a nice Sunday so far, Divya? Okay. Hello everyone, this is Nim Golkar. Welcome to Sunday Chats with Nim. This is my Facebook Live talk show every Sunday at 4 o'clock Sydney time. So I'm not sure where you're logging in from, but please put this time aside in your diary every Sunday, 4 o'clock Sydney time. I do a topic every week that will hopefully help you get ahead both personally as well as professionally. Glad to know you've had a nice weekend, Divya. I've had a nice one too, so that's great. And I'm really excited about today's session. I can see that people are slowly logging in, so let's just wait for a few more moments before we kick off this session. Now, if you're not able to see this session while it's still live, don't worry about it. It will be available, recorded on my timeline as well as on my author page after the session is over. So today we have roughly about 25 to 30 minutes on this show. And hopefully you'll ask lots of questions, give lots of answers. And like I always say, there's no right or wrong answer. So don't hold yourself back. It's lovely to interact. And always nice to hear from the audience. Okay. So while I'm still waiting for people to come on board, I'm going to let you all know what the topic is for today. Today's topic is how to get back your sparkle, or what is known as your mojo, or your groove, or your zest for life. And while I'm waiting for everyone to come on board, like always, I'm going to share some quotes with you that are applicable to today's topic. So I've put aside 3 quotes to share with you all that will give you a little bit of a taste of what we're going to talk about today. The topic is, and I keep repeating during the live session because I know people log in at different points during our 30-minute session, and it's hard to know what we're discussing when they come on board. So I repeat certain bits every now and then so that everyone's on the same page. Hi, Tigna. I'm well, thank you. How are you doing? Lovely to have you on board for this session. I'm quickly going to share some quotes with you all. So the first one is, maybe life isn't about avoiding the bruises. Maybe it's about collecting the scars to prove we showed up for it. I thought that was a really, really nice quote. The author of that quote is unknown, but I thought it was so beautiful, I must share it. And another one I wanted to share is by F. Scott Fitzgerald, who once said, "Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat." I'll repeat that. F. Scott Fitzgerald once said, "Never confuse a single defeat with a final defeat." And I just want to add a little bit to this fantastic quote by saying, never confuse even a bunch of defeats with being defeated. So what that really means is, in life, you may have faced defeat quite often. You may have suffered quite a few failures, but that does not make you a failure. And that is important to keep in mind. And the third quote I wanted to share with you all before we kick off today's session is by Nelson Mandela. And I thought that is a fantastic quote. It's one I've read many, many years ago, and I've tried to follow as much as possible throughout my life's journey. And that quote by Mandela is, "The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall." So let me repeat that. The greatest glory in living lies not in never falling, but in rising every time we fall. Okay, so basically what that means is you simply have to get up more number of times than the number of times you've been knocked down by life or by circumstances. So folks, let's kick off today's session, how to bring back your sparkle. I'm super excited about today's session because I'm on a rescue mission or a search mission. And what are we going to rescue and what are we going to search for? Well, we're going to dive deep and we're going to discover, we're going to find your lost sparkle, your lost zest for life, your lost sense of enthusiasm about life. Now, that is often called the mojo or the groove, and we're going to bring that back in today's session. And that's why I like to call today's session as a rescue mission, because we're all going to chip in, and I'm going to give you some strategies to help you get your sparkle back. So that's what we're going to discover. We're not going to try and discover it. We are going to discover it. So I hope you're as excited as I am about this session. Now, you might be thinking I'm going to talk about motivation. I'm not. I actually don't believe in motivation. I have said this many number of times, and I'm going to repeat that today. Despite being a motivational speaker and an author, I don't believe in the word motivation per se. What I believe in is momentum. So what is momentum? Momentum is when you take that first, small, reluctant step, even a hesitant step, towards a goal that at this point seems impossible to you. And once you've taken that small step and you realize, wow, nothing too terrible has happened, you pluck up enough courage to take yet another small step. And then after that, one more, and so on and so forth. That is what builds up the momentum. And it is the momentum that carries you on its shoulders closer and closer towards your ultimate goal. And this is something you could never have done if you had waited to feel motivated before getting started. So let's put aside the word motivation in our day-to-day life. We're never going to wake up motivated in the morning. Very rarely do people wake up in the morning thinking, yes, I'm ready to take on the world. It does not happen. I put my faith in the word momentum, and that is what has always helped me in my journey. So today is again about helping you find your sparkle, particularly if it has been lost for quite some time. Now, it is important to remember that losing your sparkle or losing your zest for life is not the end of the world. It is not abnormal. In fact, it is very, very normal. And even the most successful people in the world go through their peaks and troughs. They go through their ups and downs. So in case you've been feeling a bit low recently, in case you've been feeling dejected and as though you can't whip up any enthusiasm to do anything other than the bare minimum, I want you to not be annoyed with yourself. I don't want you to think that you are abnormal, because you're not. And today I'm going to help you with some strategies, some tools, some techniques to bring back that old you. Divya, yes, rescue of sparkle. We're rescuing your sparkle. We're finding it. We're bringing it back. We're going to do a deep dive and make sure that you leave this session with your sparkle back in your possession. Hi, Veera. I'm glad you're enjoying today's topic. Thank you so much for joining in. Let me start with a question for whoever is listening. Continue saying hello and hi to me. I always say it makes me feel a lot closer and more connected to you all. So ask your question, give your answers, share your insights, etc., etc. We're talking about how to find your lost sparkle. I'm going to ask you a question, and hopefully someone will answer. I want to know what you think is the meaning of losing your sparkle. What is that actual feeling, or what is that behavior that indicates that someone has lost their sparkle, or lost their mojo, or lost their groove? What is it exactly that happens when you feel like that? Does anyone want to have a go at this? What does losing your sparkle in life, losing your sense of motivation, what does it mean? What does it imply? Anyone? Have a go. There's no right or wrong answer. And I'm going to give you my viewpoint in a minute anyway. So hopefully some of you are typing, because I know it takes a while before I can see your comments. So I'm going to share what I think is the meaning of losing your sparkle. Firstly, if you've been feeling a little low or a little bit sluggish, almost as though you are caught inside a fog and you're not able to see the way out, that's one way that this feeling of losing your sparkle is manifested. Okay, Veera has said, I'm considering everyone's suggestions and advice. I feel everyone else is right, but not me. Veera, you're not alone in this, because this is such a universal feeling for so many people. We always believe that whoever is giving us advice is smarter than us, is more accomplished than us, is more deserving of success than us. That is a normal feeling, and hopefully I'm going to help you today with the strategies I'm going to share to be able to move past that kind of mindset that might be holding you back. And Divya says, a moment without confidence to go a single step further in your life. Absolutely right. When you lose your sparkle, you have no confidence left to take any kind of movement forward. You're just sort of stuck. Another way of describing this feeling is almost as though you are waiting for something that you are convinced is never going to happen. That's another way this feeling of losing your sparkle is manifested. Maybe somewhere along your life's journey, my friends, you have lost that part of you, that part of your personality that was once lively, that was once always laughing, that was once excited and enthusiastic. Maybe you've lost that part of your personality somewhere along the way. Maybe you feel dull, maybe you feel down, listless. Nothing seems to hold your interest for too long, and you feel as though you're simply drifting through life. All of this is called losing your sparkle, or losing your mojo, or losing your groove. And today we're going to help you find that once again. Thanks, Veera. I'm so glad you enjoy the stuff I post. That makes me feel good to know. Whoever is joining in only just now, I want to let you know that today we're on a search mission and a rescue mission, and we're here to deep dive and bring your lost sparkle back. We're going to help you rediscover your zest for life, and that's what we're going to talk about today. Hi, Radha. Thank you for joining in. Glad you're enjoying the topic. Continue saying your highs to me. Highs and hellos, etc. Now that we've figured out what this losing your sparkle means, let's explore why some people lose their zest for life. Why some people lose that part of their personality that is lively. Why do some people lose their sparkle? So that's my next question to you. I'd love you to reflect on it for a few moments and come up with some reasons why you think we lose our sparkle at some point in our life. So I'll wait while you think about it. The question is, why do people sometimes in their life's journey lose their desire to do anything? Why are they so undermotivated? Why are they so dejected? What could some of the reasons possibly be? Radha, I'm from Sydney too. So that's awesome. So I'm going to wait while you think and while you type, and then I'll share some of my insights and my viewpoints as well. The question is, why do some people at some point in their life lose their motivation, lose their mojo, or are unable to bring their sparkle back? What are some of the reasons? Jigna says, change in priorities. Absolutely true. If our priorities change, we can get a bit lost and we can almost be frozen, not able to move ahead, because now, because priorities are changed, we are no longer sure where to focus our energy. Would you agree with that, Jigna? Great answer, Jigna. Would anyone else like to have a go at it? Why do people sometimes lose their mojo? Okay, let me share some of my ideas. Sometimes it's because you might be overwhelmed. Maybe life has been a bit of a roller coaster ride for you recently. Maybe it's thrown a lot at you all at once. And because of that, you've felt overwhelmed and you're feeling now as though you can't do anything because you're not able to cope with any of it. So that's one of the reasons. Veera says each and every endeavor turns up with a failure that makes us lose confidence in ourselves and makes us feel dull. Absolutely right, Veera. When we try and, we grit our teeth and step outside our comfort zone and do something that terrifies us, and then if we are met with failure, we consider ourselves to be a failure. We crawl back into our little cocoons, our safe little comfort zones, and we never venture out again. Absolutely right. And Divya says, when people around us betray or discourage us, absolutely true. If we are met with betrayal from people who we thought had our best interests at heart, when those people betray us, it can make us freeze in our path. It can make us stop believing in anything and everyone, and that prevents us from doing anything proactive or positive with our lives. And Radha says, after a period of continuous success, there comes a point when you face a drastic failure. We think we're with the same energy, but it's not, because of a lot of things faced at once. Absolutely. Sometimes we reach a lull. We may have had a good run for a while, and then suddenly there's nothing. Suddenly there is, emptiness. And that can cause us to lose all our motivation, all our drive to get anything done. Hi Vandana from Perth, lovely to have you on board. Today we're discussing, in case you haven't realized what the topic is, we're talking about how to bring back your lost sparkle, and we are on a rescue mission. So everyone who's listening in hopefully will walk away from this session with some solid strategies and tools to bring back your lost mojo or your lost zest for life in general. So those are fantastic reasons that you all have shared for why sometimes we lose our enthusiasm. Another reason is when we focus too much on our flaws. Okay, you will find that if you only think about all your failures, if you only think about all your shortcomings all the time, then it's easy to get into a downward spiral, and it's easy to feel as though even the simplest of things that you want to attempt are beyond your capability or are beyond your reach. So when we focus too much on our shortcomings, it can lead us to a sense of being stuck in a rut without the courage to move forward. It's also possible that not many uplifting or positive things have happened in your life recently, and that could be making you feel sad or dejected or desolate or even defeated. So whoever's just joined in, we're discussing some of the common reasons why people lose their sparkle. Another big reason why you might be feeling stuck is comparison. This is one of the biggest reasons why so many people are frozen in time without any motivation to do anything with their lives. If we keep thinking that the people around us have more than us, are doing more than us, then it can make us, it can fill our minds and hearts with hatred for ourselves. And we can conveniently forget how far we've come. We can conveniently forget all our past achievements, because all that we're focusing on is how someone else has more than us or is living a more exciting life than us. So comparison is at the root of a lot of unhappiness. And Divya says, by focusing on flaws, yes, that is an important one, Divya. When we focus on our own flaws, it can lead to feelings of dejection. And another topic which we covered earlier was feelings of betrayal by people who we thought were on our side, who had our best interests at heart, but still, for some reason, they have betrayed us, and that can lead to feelings of dejection. Now I'm going to come to the fun part, which is how to actually get your lost sparkle back. So I'm going to share with you some strategies. And like I said at the beginning of the session, if you've lost your sparkle at the moment, if you don't have the desire to do anything, if you're not motivated to, get up in the morning and do anything productive with your life, I want to remind you that that is normal. Everyone goes through those feelings of dejection. Okay, so don't hate yourself for it. Don't think you're alone. You're not. Every person, even the most successful person, will have gone through these feelings of being frozen or stuck in a rut. The important thing to remember and the trap to sidestep is to not allow yourself to live permanently inside this rut. You have to move out, come what may. And today we're going to talk about those strategies. Radha has said also happens when people enforce negative opinions and we start thinking about their opinions rather than our own. Yes, very, very true. It is so important to filter the advice and the opinions that we're getting from people, even from people who have our best interests at heart, because sometimes even well-meant advice can lead you on the wrong track. So it is important to filter all pieces of advice that we get from everyone around us and to ultimately do what our instincts are guiding us to do. Okay, so I'm going to give you about 3 or 4 strategies to help you find your lost sparkle. The first thing I want to tell you, and this might shock you a little bit, but it is true, and that is that currently you are a prisoner. What are you a prisoner of? You are a prisoner inside the trap of self-fulfilling prophecies. That's what you currently are a prisoner of, and that's why you've lost your sparkle. You are imprisoned inside self-fulfilling prophecies. Does anyone know what a self-fulfilling prophecy is? I'm going to wait for a few moments and let you reflect on this and tell me what you think a self-fulfilling prophecy is, because whether you like it or not, you are trapped inside it. You're a prisoner of it, and we are going to release you today. So what is a self-fulfilling prophecy, guys? Hi, Chandni. Thank you. How are you doing? How lovely to have you here on Sunday Chats with Nim, Chandni. Long time no see. Welcome. So what's a self-fulfilling prophecy? You need to know what it is, because if you want to liberate yourself from this trap that you're living in on a day-to-day basis, we need to know what it means, what it stands for, because unless you know what you're up against, you're not going to be able to escape from it. So a self-fulfilling prophecy, my friends, is a prediction that comes true because you expect it to come true. That's a self-fulfilling prophecy. It is a prediction that you make. You predict something, and it does come true because you are so convinced that it is going to come true. I'll give you an example. If you're taking a walk along a slippery slope and you keep thinking, I know I'm going to slip any minute, I know I'm going to slip any minute, I know I'm going to fall down any minute, lo and behold, that's exactly what happens. You trip and you fall down. It's the law of manifestation. It's where you focus your energy. It's where you focus your attention. If all you do is go through your days only thinking about all the terrible things that are going to happen to you, guess what? You will invite more of the same. So if you've lost your mojo at the moment, if you've lost your sparkle at the moment, it's because you have trapped yourself without realizing it inside the self-fulfilling prophecy. You've got into the habit of inviting from the universe things that are not helping you, things that are not serving you. So the important thing to remember is people who are caught inside a rut, 2 things have happened. Either they have not won at anything for a long time, either they have not triumphed over any obstacles in a long time, or else they have failed at far too many things in the recent past. And these are the two common reasons why you may be feeling you're stuck inside a rut. So now the trick is to trick your own mind into believing that you are not a failure and that you can succeed. So how do you get out of this self-fulfilling prophecy? Firstly, set yourself a goal that is small and attainable. Don't set yourself up for failure by setting a big goal that is difficult to achieve or impossible to achieve. Because if you do, you will probably fail at it. And once you fail at it, the self-fulfilling prophecy kicks back in, because you tell yourself, there you go, that's one more time I failed. And you invite more and more failure into your life. So you need to trick your mind into believing that that is no longer true, that you are actually a winner. So what do? You set yourself a small goal, achieve it, and then set yourself a slightly bigger goal that is still achievable. And so you continue achieving these goals that become progressively bigger. And as you start winning, as you start achieving success, even if it's on a super small scale, your mind is tricked into believing that success is the only thing meant for you. And the self-fulfilling prophecy now works in the opposite direction and begins serving you. Because if you focus your energy on your wins, on your successes, that's exactly what you will invite from the universe back to you. So hopefully that is making sense. Let me read some comments. Radha says it's about self-contentment and being self-satisfied. Okay. And Bhavik says, in my opinion, success and confidence are the only keys to bringing back your sparkle. It doesn't happen both together within time frames. So yes, confidence and success, very, very important keys to bringing back your lost sparkle. And one of the ways to bring the confidence back is to make sure that you're setting yourself, at least in the initial stages, goals that are achievable. Unfortunately, a lot of people are taking two big steps. They're, taking a massive leap of faith outside their comfort zone. And because they're new at whatever they're attempting, they fail and they come crawling back and they never, ever venture out again. Instead, you need to trick your mind into believing that, yes, you are a winner. And the only way to do that is by setting yourself achievable goals. Okay, so that is the first thing. The second strategy I want to share with you all, and this is the most important one, and because we're running low on time, I'm going to dive straight into it. The question I want to ask you all is, are you curious enough about what's out there in the universe? Think about this question, my friends, for a moment, because truly it is the question that is going to open so many doors for you all. If you are finding yourself dejected, depressed, lost, as though you've lost your mojo, you've lost any desire to do anything, answer this one question. You don't have to answer me, answer it to yourself. Are you curious enough about what's out there on offer in the universe? What's your curiosity barometer like? I'm going to explain to you. Have you ever heard of a degustation menu, or what is known as a tasting menu? Has anyone heard of that? It's a French term, degustation. Degustation. And I know there's a very, very fancy way of saying it the French way, but this is the English way of saying. It's a tasting menu. That's when you go to this restaurant and the chef brings out many, many of their signature dishes, and there could be as many as 15 to 20 courses, but they're all sampler size. They're all super small. And the idea is for you to taste each one and decide whether or not you like it. Now, the fun bit is that some of those mini sampler dishes will agree with your palate and will agree with your taste, and some of them won't. But what is important is by becoming curious about the sampler menu or this tasting menu that the chef has brought out to you, you actually get to experience many fragrances, many flavors that you would not have been exposed to otherwise. Okay, so now think about this degustation menu in terms of the universe. The universe is like the chef, and the universe has on offer this entire menu. And unfortunately, most of us go from birth to death without ever even knowing or being aware of the menu that is on offer out there in the universe. There are so many things out there that we need to experience, that we need to learn, that we need to expose ourselves to. But we continue living in our safe little worlds, in our safe little cocoons, and we never venture out. And that is one of the key reasons why so many people today are unable to discover the purpose of their life. They're unable to discover their true strengths and the skills that they were born to do. That's the reason, because we're not curious enough about what else is out there. You know what happens is we continue doing the same thing that we've been doing most of our adult life, and we never learn anything new. And the reason for this is we become moderately good at whatever it is that we're doing, and we become content with being moderately good at certain skills. This prevents us from discovering new skills that we could be a master at if we allowed ourselves to hone those skills. I'll give you an example of this young lady. There was this young lady once upon a time. Oh, sounds like a fairy tale, but it is a true story. So this young lady, whenever she had a dinner party and she invited people over to her house for a meal, everyone used to always praise her cooking, because even though she was not the world's best chef, she was a relatively decent cook. Okay, and then she and we got chatting about different things, and the topic about discovering one's hidden talents cropped up. And I asked her to write down on a piece of paper all the different things that she was good at, that she was talented at. Now this young lady, she thought and she thought and she thought a little more, and then she shrugged and she said to me, you know, Nim, I can't really think of anything that I'm good at. Maybe cooking is what I'm good at. So I'm just going to write that down, that I'm good at cooking. So that's what she writes on the piece of paper. Fair enough. So I said to her, well, what else are you good at? Think hard. So she thinks a little more, and then she shakes her head and she said, I'm sorry, Nim, there is nothing else I am good at. Now, honestly, that statement troubled me a great deal. That statement is something I have heard ever so many times in my career as a coach. So many of you are probably going around thinking, well, this is what I'm good at and that's it. There's nothing else that I'm good at. I have no skills, I have no talents. But you know what amazes me? Even though you've never really become curious about what's out there in the universe, even without trying out any of the different skills and talents and hobbies that are out there, we can still say with so much confidence that there is nothing else that I'm good at, almost as though you've tried everything and realized you're not good at it. How can we say with confidence that we don't have any other skill when we've not really tried our hand at anything new? We've only been doing the same old skills that we've done for years. You know, if we convince ourselves that I'm moderately good at cooking, we never allow ourselves to discover any other aspect of our personality. If we convince ourselves, oh, I'm good at getting along with people, I'm moderately good at making friends, we remain content with that, with being moderately good at something. But hold on, if you go out and experience everything that the universe has to offer, the chance is that you will discover the very thing that you were born to do. And for that very reason, you need to become curious. Radha says, picking up new things that interest us and learn about it a little more. Yes, it does give a lot of meaning to our lives. Definitely, definitely does. So I urge you to become curious. So what happened with this young lady is I told her, you know, I think there are parts of your personality that you have not yet discovered. I know you're pretty good at cooking, but I think there is so much more that you can also do. It's fantastic that you have this one skill, but I think you're shortchanging yourself by not becoming curious about what else is out there on offer. So I encouraged her to, you know, pick up some new skills, maybe attend a course or two, or maybe try out her hand at some new interests. And you know what happened? She has always been curious about learning a foreign language, and she had never ever done that. So after speaking with me, she went and enrolled in a school to learn a foreign language, and she discovered that she has a natural flair for languages. So when I next met her about 8 months later, she had picked up, I think, 2 or 3 foreign languages, and she was on her way to becoming a full-fledged translator. She had found her purpose. She had found new meaning in her life. She knew what she was born to do. None of this would have been possible if she had not become curious, if she hadn't demanded more from herself. So think about it. If you've been constantly telling yourself that you only have 1 or 2 things that you're good at, I don't think it's true at all. I don't think you've tapped into even 1% of what the universe has to offer, let alone everything that's out there in the universe's menu. So don't be content simply by telling yourself, I'm moderately good at these 1 or 2 skills. I think your true mastery will be found once you discover that those 1 or 2 skills that you were born to do, and you will not find that unless you become curious. Yes, you may fail at some of the things you try, but at least by the process of elimination, you will know that you need to now turn your attention to something else. So guys, we are well over our 30 minutes. In fact, it's 36 minutes, and hopefully you've all enjoyed today's session, and hopefully the strategies that I've shared with you will help you rediscover your lost sparkle. The whole purpose of today's session was that I did not want you to simply settle for whatever life throws at you every single day. Instead, I want you to start choosing as many things as possible that happen in your life. When you choose a certain lifestyle, when you choose a certain kind of life, that puts you in the driver's seat. So maybe you've been just drifting through life, maybe you've simply been reacting to what life has thrown at you until now. But from today, promise yourself that you will play a more active role, that you will not simply be a spectator in your own life. Don't give the script of your life in someone else's custody. You need to write the script of your own life, not someone else. So don't settle for what life throws at you. Instead, choose as many things as possible that happen in your life. And the only way to do that is to step outside that rut that you found yourself stuck in for so long. Time to find your mojo, time to find your sparkle, and get on with the process of living, not simply existing. So that's it, my friends. Thank you so much for joining in. Thanks, Vandana. Thank you. I'm so glad you enjoyed. Hi, Mansi. Glad you could join in. And thank you, everyone else who has commented. Always love hearing your viewpoints. I'll see you again next Sunday with yet another topic. I'm not sure at this stage what I'm going to talk about, but I promise it'll be fun and interesting. Thanks, Radha. Thank you. And best wishes to you as well. So don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel, Nim Golkar. And if you've enjoyed this video and if you found it helpful, please do share it with any family and friends that you think might benefit from it, because it's all about picking each one up. All of us are here to help each other, and we need to share whatever strategies we learn so that everyone else can find the real purpose for which they were born. Thank you, guys. Love you all. See you next Sunday, 4 p.m. Sydney time. Have a fantastic week ahead. Hopefully, you'll find your lost sparkle very, very soon. And with the help of that sparkle that you'll discover, I hope you continue and make all your dreams come true. Take care. Bye for now.